In this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact mindset shift that you need to go from, dang it, I didn't get that lead, to, all right, lead came into my business, it's game on. They didn't buy right away, now the game's on. The chase has just begun. And by the way, guys, in my videos here, as you guys may have noticed, I am not doing any fancy edits. I don't bring in the text, do the theme music, I don't do that stuff, okay? This is literally just raw content here. There's very little to no editing whatsoever. This is just information that I've learned just straight off what I have to say, just from personal experience. So if you like that, great. If you want videos with editing, I'm sure there's a bunch of other videos out there. Go find them. This is just me. So if you want to watch, great. If not, that's perfectly fine. And anyways, one of the biggest mindset shifts that I had in business, and what I used to think was, when an actual lead comes into my business, if that lead doesn't buy right away, well, they didn't buy. That's that. And so I just kind of sit on my butt, and guess what I do? I spend a little bit more on ads, and I do the exact same thing. And then next thing you know, I start to realize, what if there's an actual process that you need to take? And this maybe didn't come to my realization. It was more of, okay, I see other people doing these specific strategies, it's working for them, so let's try it. So then you actually apply those strategies and you apply it into your own business, and you're like, wow, this actually works. But most of you guys, what you're doing is, when a lead comes in, whether it's a lead from, or an organic lead, a paid ad leads, and paid ad leads are even worse if you do this, is when a lead comes in, if they don't buy right away, you simply just let it go. It just doesn't matter to you. And what you need to be doing is, you need to be chasing that lead. And a lot of you are like, chasing the lead, I'm not going to chase after a customer. Customers come to me. And that's just the mindset that you have. But I'm telling you, when you actually shift your mindset to think the complete opposite of, hey, these are everyday people just like me. They're not going to buy right away. They're sitting back, and they're probably going to take anywhere between a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month. Some of you, if you're doing larger projects like a concrete project, or a retaining wall, or type of landscape with a patio or a kitchen, outdoor kitchen, you're talking about people who are remodeling. You're talking about people who are going to wait anywhere between 5 to 6 months, and depending on your schedule, they might not even make a decision until close to a year out, because you could be booked. And so they don't want to pull the trigger too soon. And so you have to completely change your mind of, hey, I spent money on an ad, or I did this type of marketing here, and a lead came in January. They didn't convert right away, but hey, that lead might convert in March. That lead might convert in July, because where most buyers are at, they're not looking to pull the trigger right away, unless it's a smaller job. You're talking about anywhere between $100 to $1,000. That's probably a smaller job that someone's going to be willing to pull the trigger ASAP. And so what we need to do as business owners is, we need to actually find the practical steps on how to actually make sure that, just because a lead was submitted, they don't go dead. We keep this lead alive, because these leads right now, they're just pointing a gun at different businesses. I've called this business, I've called that business, I've called this business, I've called that business. And when they're ready to pull the trigger, we need them to pull the trigger on our company. So how do we actually get them to do that? And so what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to walk you through a 3-step process. 3 practical methods that you can actually take within your business to ensure that when these customers pull the trigger, they're pulling the trigger on your company. That's the whole entire goal. We want the trigger to be pulled on us, because guess what? That trigger is full of a lot of cash at the end of that barrel. And so step number 1 that we're going to take is retargeting. And these are my 3 favorite. And really, I would say that I'm going to go in the order of these, based on my favorite. So number 1, my favorite is retargeting ads. So specifically, a retargeting ad is, most people are just throwing up an ad, hoping that the very first ad they throw up, or the handful of ads that they throw up, and the very first ad a customer sees in my company, they're going to buy from me. Well, guess what? That is not the case. Once again, they need to actually have an assurance that, hey, this is the company I am going to be going with. And if that's not your company, then guess what? If they don't get that assurance of seeing your company multiple times here, multiple times there, they're probably not going to go with you, unless it's a lower ticket project we're talking about. So how do we actually do this with retargeting ads? First and foremost, it 100% depends on your business. There's a lot of different retargeting strategies that we can actually take in terms of using meta ads. And so some of these retargeting strategies is, we have to evaluate where we're at in our business, because it's not a one size fits all. It's a, okay, I'm taking a step back. I'm looking at what are the assets that I have within my business that I can start utilizing and retarget with ads. For example, let's just say that you've spent the last 5, 6, 7 years using Instagram and really growing your Instagram account with your business. You've gotten to a point in your local community where people know you from your Instagram page or they know you from your Facebook page. You're posting a ton of videos, you're showing off your team, you're showing off you, the owner. You are creating trust. You've created an entire funnel to where people are literally just consuming your content because they love your content. It's engaging. And so, what you need to be doing, let's just say you've accumulated a handful of thousand followers in your local area, you should be utilizing that Instagram. How do we actually utilize it with retargeting ads? Is we simply just retarget your Instagram page. We target people who follow. We retarget people who have interacted with videos. We target anybody who's interacted with your page. That's a strategy. Now let's take a step back. Let's say you didn't build with Instagram. You didn't build a following or a community or a funnel of people who trust you with any social media platform. Let's just say you've been in business for the past 5 years, for the past 10 years, and you've created thousands, or I should say, collected thousands of lists of potential customers or list of leads that have come into your business. This is literally anybody who has submitted a form, anybody who has contacted your company organically, anybody who has contacted your company from word of mouth, any type of lead that have come into your business. You have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. Well, guess what we can be doing? We can be retargeting that specific list. We can be feeding Facebook information on who our ideal customer is, and then we can be utilizing that to our advantage. We can be sending out blast emails. And that leads me right into our next topic, which is strategy number 2, which is an email blast, is what I like to call it. And essentially what this email blast is we're taking that list of customers that we just collected and we are sending monthly emails to these customers. You see, a lot of people within this industry think that when they get a lead, when they get a paying customer, that customer is it. That's it. Even if they don't have a monthly recurring membership, like if you're doing more of a large contracting, landscaping jobs, people aren't going to be paying you every single month, obviously. It's probably going to be, I just completed an outdoor kitchen. I did a really good job for this company. Maybe they might refer another person to me, and that's kind of their way of paying you again, even though it's not directly their money. Or maybe it's not until 5, 6, 10 years down the road where, hey, that landscaper did an amazing job in my kitchen or my outdoor kitchen. I'm going to hire them again for this retaining wall. I'm going to hire them again for remulching my landscape bed, whatever it is. So it's not going to be as reoccurring. So what we need to make sure we do is that our brand stays in front of them this entire time. So when they are ready to pull that trigger again on a company, they remember, hey, I am the company who serviced you last. I am the company you want to go with. And so too many people are not utilizing this to a practical way for their business because you have thousands of people that you could have put on your email list, whether they bought from you or not. Because the thing is, even those people who have not bought from you, even if they've reached out to your company originally, what you're going to be doing is you'll put them into this email blast list, and in this email list, they're going to be getting monthly emails, or they're going to be getting a couple emails every single month from your company. And even though they may have partnered with a different company, they may need that exact same service 5 months later, 10 months later, a couple years later, and they keep getting those emails. They've never unsubscribed from those emails. And then when they need that service, they think to themselves, man, that last concrete guy that I hired, he did not do a good job. But this company keeps popping up in my email box. They've been popping up in here for the past 6 months, the past 2 years. I'm going to contact them. They probably have their stuff together because they've been in my inbox for the longest time, and for some reason I haven't unsubscribed from them. Guys, people have bad experiences with other companies, and guess what? A little later on down the road, they need that exact same service. And if you didn't dismiss that lead that you paid for in some form of marketing, whether it's paid ads, whether it's yard signs, billboards, if you are not utilizing that lead, whether they paid your company or not, you're potentially wasting money. You've got to play the long-term game here. Too many people are playing the short-term game. They want the quick wins, quick wins, quick wins. But guess what? Some of your biggest wins take 6 months. Some of your biggest wins may take a year. Some of your biggest wins may take a year and a half. You just have to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success for that win 6 months down the road, regardless of whether somebody's paid you or not. And too many people are not doing that. And so what do these actual emails look like? These emails can essentially look like really anything. Information about your company. They can be maybe testimonials. They can be information about your specific service to show and display that you are the expert. You know exactly what you're talking about. They can be, hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, I don't know, Happy Hanukkah, whatever country you live in. So you need to be utilizing this. And that kind of brings me to my third strategy and approach that you need to be taking to make sure that we go from, hey, a lead was submitted, they didn't buy, darn it, to, hey, let's chase this lead down. They didn't buy right away, but guess what? They're on my radar, whether it's 6 months from now or a week from now. Third strategy is going to be follow-ups. You might be blown away by this, but the best way to follow up, part one of this follow up, is simply answering your darn phone. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but so many people, they miss opportunities because they miss picking up the phone. They miss opportunities because they can't text back within 24 hours. Guess what? It's not difficult. Okay, sure, you have an emergency pop up, but it is not difficult to actually have a proper speed to lead system. I'm not going to be talking about back end systems here, like in detail, but picking up the phone is the first part of the follow up. The second part of the follow up that is going to help you is to actually have automations put in place. And you can use the exact same software, which is Go High Level. I can show you exactly how to set it up inside our free school community. You can use the exact same software that you use to blast emails with, to blast customers with emails for these automated follow ups. And what these automated follow ups look like is essentially a lead is submitted. This lead, right when it's submitted, they're sent a message, something along the lines of, it's customizable by the way. This message can literally be anything such as, hey George, thanks for submitting your lead to XYZ Landscaping. We are busy with the customer. We'll be in contact with you ASAP. Thanks for your patience. Talk to you soon. And you call them back ASAP, right? And that automation, by the way, gets sent to your phone as well. So you get a notification, hey, I just spent money on ads, right? A lead was submitted. You better follow up ASAP. So it's super beneficial for you as the business owner because you get notified, and also the customer feels like, okay, this business owner happened to not answer his phone, but he or she's actually not ignoring me. They're just busy with the customer. They're going to get back to me ASAP. Just that is going to pay off in the long run, because what's going to happen is if a competitor answers the phone and you do not answer the phone, that's point them. And guess what? You don't want to do point them. You want point you. Okay? You want to get as many points as possible over your competitors, because if I'm a customer and I'm calling a company and someone doesn't answer the phone, well, guess what? I'm putting that company negative points, because guess what? I'm probably not going to go with them, especially if another company has answered the phone. That's just kind of the person I am. I want transparency and I want communication, because guess what? If someone's going to be around my home, if someone's going to be inside my home, on my property, I want full transparency and I need full trust. And if I can't get that from people just simply not answering their phone, then guess what? They're not getting my money. So those automations are extremely, extremely important. And I would say that if you can't do all three of those things, the number one thing that I would do is retargeting ads. And you can run these retargeting ads for very, very minimal dollars. And that's my favorite part about retargeting ads is when you can take a step back and you can kind of look at your business and be like, okay, this area I've worked hard on, lead list. This area I've worked hard on, my Instagram page. This area I've worked hard on, my SEO presence on my website. This I worked hard on XYZ. Now let's utilize that and let's actually retarget that. And I actually have inside my school community, we show you exactly how to do this. I'll leave the link in the description below. But if you want a step-by-step breakdown on how I actually set up the email list, how I go through and what I actually say in my emails, I want you to click this video right here and I will see you there.